Welcome back. We're here with 1443. In the last one, Thomas and Odelgard started a relationship, but Genevieve is not into it. Also, Genevieve had twin girls, Martine and Mathilda, so we're in good shape there. And we are going to roll for Genevieve this year, which I'm really nervous about. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Okay. Let's just do it. Let's just close our eyes and pretend like numbers don't exist. So yes, let's roll for Genevieve's daughters first. We have infants. They can't get an 18 or a 20. No 18 or 20 for either one of them. Both of them survive. And then we have Drustin and Genevieve. No, 2, 6, 11, 13, 14. Okay, Drustin, I don't care about you. He survived. Okay, Genevieve, please, please. Okay. Oh, I was so scared. And next year is even worse. Next year is so scary because Thomas is going to potentially live or die. Okay, so Bard and Bartholomew and Cassian, who is still alive but in jail, have to get a 9 or higher. Yes. 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 Wow. Then Alexandra and Elric need to get a 10 or higher. Yes. Wow, is everyone surviving? Oh my gosh. I can't believe everyone just survived. That is wild. Okay, so and then Alexandra and Elric need to roll a d8. 7 and 8. Wow, everyone's doing excellently. So 7 and an 8 for how long they're going to live after this this section. So very exciting. Everyone lived. I feel like I was stressing myself out for nothing now. I don't think any. Oh, Genevieve is pregnant with her last baby try, and it is a boy. So if it survives, then Malcolm will have another spare, and Genevieve will also have confirmed her position, because then at least one of her children that she birthed is going to have a good position, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking because we're going to hop into the game and find out more about Thomas and Odelgard and Genevieve and everything. So let's go. Okay, so if you remember the last part, we did have Thomas and Odelgard starting their relationship together. Adelaide definitely has an inkling that there is something going on, but nobody else really does, and like not Thomas, but then other than that, Genevieve does know for sure, but she is not supportive at all. So there is that. And so in the last one, we definitely had Thomas and Odelgard talking about their relationship and what they should do and blah, blah, blah. And so they have had a lot of conversations about this, and they are just kind of hoping to find a way that they can be together because they both really love each other. And Thomas has kind of decided in his heart that he is willing to forego his place in the legacy in order to marry Odelgard because he loves her so much. And I think that that's really sweet. However, I think that it is important to note that she is unable to have children. She is also a peasant, basically. I mean, she's a little higher than peasant, I guess. I don't really know how long peasant extends for. Also, it is such a huge pain to get the Sims to do anything when there is a storm going on. It's so annoying. Like, why are you doing this to me? Anyway, it's fine. I'm making it work. But anyway, so what is happening here is that Thomas and Odelgard are doing their thing. They are having their sort of secret, half-secret relationship, and Adelaide is very happy. I think Adelaide, like I said, she has an idea that something's going on, but at the same time, she is kind of excited because obviously she wants Thomas to get married soon. Like, that's pretty clear. But at the same time, she also is really excited that Odelgard is in their lives because Odelgard is you know, she is interested in the business. She's interested in the nectar making side of things. She's interested in all of that stuff. And so, of course, that is something that Adelaide would want in a daughter-in-law, is to be interested in their family business and be available to work in it and work on it and all of that stuff. So they are very excited about that. She is definitely hoping that Thomas and Odelgard do have a little something something going on, but of course, you know, they haven't really confirmed it for her. So it's taking like all day to do the gardening stuff too nowadays. So I think that that's something we'll have to keep track of in the future. Is this going to take too long to basically have an entire farm? Are we going to need to like hire a ranch hand or something like that? So anyway, there is that. And then we are over here. We are going to have these two talk and just, you know, have their conversations together. And, you know, of course, he is really into her and is basically saying like, you know, I love you and I'm really excited. And I'm going to tell my parents today, like we're going to tell our families. And he basically asks her to marry him. That's right. Look at his face. He's so happy. He's like, Odelgard, please will you be my wife? Like, I'll tell my parents right now and we'll get married. And so she's like, yes, absolutely. And so we're going to bring his parents in to talk about it because they need to know what's going on now. So basically, Thomas is going to announce to them that him and Odelgard are engaged and they're going to be married. And Thomas, the elder, is like, what? I don't think he really, you know, was as observant as Adelaide was in this. So Adelaide is so excited. She's going to give Odelgard a big hug and she's going to be like, yes, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And, you know, they say, oh, we'll have like a big dinner tomorrow in order to, you know, announce it to our family, and that would be really fun. And so they are all very, very excited that this is happening. I think Thomas the Elder is like, okay, I'm glad that you're getting married because you need to, but and she seems like a great girl, and so he's just kind of like, okay, whatever you say. So that is what's going on there, and they're all just talking, and they're all very happy, and everyone is in a good place. So you should be worried. But yes, everyone is very happy about the engagement. And of course, you know, when a certain someone, Genevieve, gets invited over tomorrow for this big dinner, we'll see how that goes. So yes, we are very excited to be married at this point in time. Just right now. I'm just kidding. So yeah, we are doing really good, and we are just going to keep doing our chores for the night. Very exciting stuff here where we're trying to get everything together. And actually, I really do feel like the estate plus Thomas III's royalties are really getting us enough money that I don't feel like we need to sell nectar every year, which again, I know that I already was like, we have to sell nectar every year because we're nectar makers. And I know I said that, but we can just say that their business is like running in the background instead of actually having to physically sell the nectar every year. I think we have enough money that we could say maybe like some of the money from the estate is from nectar sales. So I think that that is a good idea. So that's what we're going to call that. And then we are going to just try and get some of our chores done for today. It is kind of difficult to get all of that done and be working on, you know, wanting to host a big party today. So there is that. So we are going to just move some stuff downstairs. You can see our cellar is filling up pretty quickly. So that is really good. And then we are going to just have a party. So I'm really excited about that. It was already getting kind of late, so I was like, come on, we got to have the party. Like, let's go. So there is that. And so I was looking for like an engagement party, but there's not really something that's that. I guess we could call it like the family gathering or the rehearsal dinner, but, you know, I guess we'll just have it like that. So they are going to be just having a dinner party. So that'll be exciting, and we'll invite over everyone. And you know what? We're going to invite over the Zests too. I never invite them over because they're supposed to be in Tartosa, but I think that it could be definitely fun to include them. Maybe, you know, I don't know, you can think of some reason for them to be here, like they have a family reunion coming up or something. So there's that. So everyone is coming over and we're all very excited, except let me save, because for some reason, like right at this moment, I started having problems with my game. Like I started having some issues where the game was like not doing time right. Like the 1, 2, 3 keys weren't working for me and everything kept pausing but not fast forwarding, and it was just like a really weird situation that I was confused about. So I was just trying to figure that out at the same time as having this dinner party, but we're doing our best here. Look, there's Drustin. He's so funny. I love him. And so we are in good shape there, and then we are going to have them all sit around the table. So, and also Genevieve is currently pregnant. She's pregnant. So that's really exciting too. We know that she's pregnant with a boy, so Malcolm will be happy. It is also her last baby try. And yeah, so they're all going to sit around the table, except, of course the Sims never sit still, but we're going to have them all sit around the table and they're chatting and blah, blah, blah. And so they announce the engagement. They're like, we're getting engaged. And Genevieve is like, what? She's like, no, you're not. And he's like, yes, we are. We are getting engaged. And she's like, no, you're not. And so they're kind of starting this back and forth. And Adelaide's like, what is going on? And Genevieve's like, he can't marry her. And, Adelaide's like, you know what, Genevieve, like, you don't have to be such a snob. Like, she's a good girl. She's very nice to our family. Like, she's good for Thomas. He loves her. And she's really interested in the family business and blah, blah, blah. So she's going on and telling Genevieve, like, don't be like that. Like, you can see that she scolds Genevieve for bullying autonomously. So that is something that was really interesting to us. So they're all yelling, and so then Genevieve just lets them have it, and she basically, outs Odelgard and is like, well, she can't have children either. So she kind of throws that out. And of course, you know what? This whole storyline is no shade to anyone who has problems with infertility, because I totally, like, that's not my intention. My intention is that Genevieve is in the wrong here. Like, she is having a bad opinion because she's a snob, and because a lot of the people in this world at this time period, they care about, biological children and the continuing of family lines and all that stuff. But like, I'm not trying to say like in real life I agree with any of those feelings, because I don't. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Also, I'm trying to fix my game by going to the map and then coming back. But yes, I'm not trying to insult anyone or hurt anyone's feelings with this storyline, but that is something that during this time period, especially among like nobility and stuff, is very important to them, is that they have their family lines continue. So Genevieve basically, shouts it at the dinner table. Everyone is there. Everyone is hearing it. And like, of course, Thomas and Odelgard are horrified that she is making this big scene right now, and Adelaide and Thomas are shocked that that's going on, and so it's just kind of a surprise, like a shock, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, like, did that really just happen? And of course we get Philomena, who is like sitting at the head of the table being like, whoa, this is wild. I mean, aren't we all Philomena? So yes, we are going to end the dinner party there, because obviously that was just like a big bombshell and it ruins the night and everything. So everyone is going to be arguing with each other back and forth, and Adelaide and Thomas are like, why didn't you tell us? Like, what is going on? And he's just like, it's none of your business. And just all of this stuff. So they're just arguing back and forth, and then Adelaide's like, well, what are you going to do about our family, and all that stuff? And he's just like, that's not important. That's not important to me. What's important, and Thomas is basically like, oh, so you don't want to be a part of the nectar business. You don't want to have children. Like, it's tough. He's probably saying some things that are very not nice to his son. Like, you're not going to do this for our family. And so Thomas and Odelgard are just having this conversation afterwards, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, what are we going to do? And Thomas is like, it's okay. It's fine. We're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I'll talk to them and all of this stuff. So he is just, and of course, he's only a teenager. Remember that. So he is going to just head over to his computer and kind of try and collect his thoughts and figure out what exactly, you know, happened there. Like, everyone needs a chance to collect their thoughts and really think through what is going on and what is happening. And, Thomas and Adelaide are obviously having conversations among themselves about the whole thing and what does it mean and what should they do? And, I think that Thomas, the elder, is just kind of like, we supported him through this writing thing, and we agreed that he didn't have to take over the family business, that he could bring someone in, and then he brings someone in and then, insults us in this way and blah, blah, blah. And so Thomas is really not happy, like Thomas the Elder. It is just really interesting. I think that he has a lot of feelings too, because, he wants his children to be happy, but at the same time, he is more invested also in Adelaide and her dream. Like, he met his kids again when they were older, and he is, Adelaide is kind of running the show of the family, basically. And so Thomas is like, seeing how hurt it makes his wife that all of this stuff is happening. Like, she was already hurt that he wasn't interested in the family business, and now he's not going to have kids after everything that they've done for them. And so Thomas is definitely more angry than Adelaide is in this situation. So everyone is just going to kind of go back to their days, go back to their chores, go back to what they were doing. They are going to try and all sort themselves out separately. Of course, it's taking forever to do the gardening. I think what we're going to do by the end of this is we are going to actually hire a gardening service. So we will be just harvesting everything, whereas the service will be doing all the other stuff. So I think that that'll be a lot easier for one person to handle, right? Like, obviously one person can't do all of that. So we're going to keep going here. So we are going to also keep planting things as we can so that we're able to make sure that everything gets planted. And Odelgard is just like beside herself about what's going on. It's really just a shame. But also, I want you to keep in mind too, and this is something that I was unsure of when we were playing with Odelgard, because I noticed that some of her whims are really interesting. So she has some whims that are like flirt with Pascal. Like, why would she want to flirt with someone else? That's weird, isn't it? So I think that maybe Odelgard is either not as in love as we think she is, or maybe she's, weighing her options and all of that stuff. So we just kind of have to see. So Thomas is going to come here and confront her, and he is going to argue with her because, she needs to be disliked by two Sims. So Thomas is going to be the next person that dislikes her. I think that he is just like, I don't know what your game is. Like, I don't know why you're trying to do this to our family, all this stuff. And she's just like, I love your son. I'm not doing anything. And she's very convincing, but honestly, I'm a little suspicious. Like, even though I like Odelgard, she's hardworking, she does all this stuff, but she does have that mischief aspiration, and on top of that, she does want to flirt with someone else. So, can we trust her? Can we trust her motives? I don't know. So, it's definitely something that's difficult for her. She is now disliked by Thomas. He's like, you're not going to be part of my family. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to let it happen. And, poor little Thomas is just like beside himself. So we are going to then have everyone doing their thing for the day. And we are going to have little Thomas come and talk to his parents. So he's going to come talk to his parents, and have a conversation with them. And he's like, look, Mom and Dad, like, I'm not trying to upset you. I'm not trying to disappoint you. I'm not trying to let the family down. But, I am really in love with her, and I'm willing to make sacrifices for that. And, Thomas just kind of cuts him off and is like, well, we're not willing to make sacrifices for that. Like, you can't decide that for our family line, like, after everything that has happened. And Thomas is just like, that's not fair. That's not fair that you're going to put it all on me. Like, it's not just me that is helping do anything with this family. And so they're talking, and Adelaide's like, are you really not going to have children? Like, and he's like, well, we can always adopt or do something. And they're all like, oh my gosh. And so he's having this conversation with his parents, and it's really not going well for him. And they're like, look, you need to choose to do the right thing by our family. And they're all arguing about it, and they're all upset. Tensions are running high, and it's just hard. It's hard for their family, and I'm sick of her being uncomfortable, so I'm going to take away that fear. But yeah, so they're having this conversation, and Thomas is really getting beaten down by this because he really did want to make his family proud. He wanted all of that, and it's been really hard for him because he is not able to do that. He's not able to make them proud, not in business, and apparently not in this either. And so he just kind of has to decide, like, is anything going to give? Is he going to continue to be the selfish one while everyone around him makes concessions for him? And so he's just having a really hard time coming to terms with that. And he really doesn't want to disappoint his family either. Like, obviously he doesn't want to disappoint his family. It's very difficult for all of them in this situation. I think that, Adelaide obviously wants her son to be happy and find love, but also, like, she's disappointed that all of her hard work is going to get thrown away because what if the legacy goes to Genevieve, then all of her hard work was for nothing, because Genevieve will probably just, sell the nectar business or something like that. Like, she already has her own money through her husband's and all of that stuff. So Adelaide is disappointed that everything that she did is, just going to be for nothing, basically. So they're all really upset. It's a lot of emotions, it's a lot of tensions, and it's a lot of conflicting feelings. Every single one of them has conflicting feelings about this whole situation. So that is something really to keep in mind, is that it's not black and white. It's not this person feels this and that person feels that. It's, I want this, but also I want that. And those two things conflict with each other now. So that is a really tough situation for them to be in. Yes. Anyway, we are going to have Thomas and Odelgard have another conversation. They need to have one. So they need to have a conversation together. And we are going to have them have this. So here we go. We're going to talk. They're going to talk it out. I didn't know that Share Astronomy Knowledge was going to have them do that. But anyway, so we are going to do that, and then they're going to talk, and Thomas is basically going to say to her, look, I love you so much, but I don't know if I can handle, ruining my family, getting ostracized from my family, not being a part of this anymore. And Odelgard is like, look, I understand. I don't think that it will work because, your father hates me, your sister hates me. Your mom is the only one who ever liked me, and I don't even think she approves anymore. And so they both kind of come to this sad decision together where they're just going to be friends. And he says to her, like, I don't expect you to, continue to do the business stuff. I don't expect you to stay. Like, I don't expect anything from you after this. And she basically says, no, I want to stay. I want to be a part of this business. I worked really hard on it, and I'm not finished with it. And, if you feel bad for me, then when you become the patriarch, why don't you give me a stake in the business? Why don't you give me like a certain percentage, since I'm the one running it, or like give me the job as the person who runs it for you? And he's like, yeah, that's a deal. So they are going to hash out a business decision, basically, where they can still be friendly and still work together. But, you know, there's obviously going to be that heartbreak and that longing for a long time. Like, it's not just going to go away overnight because they've decided that they can't be together. It's going to be more than that. So they are going to have a lot of feelings for a while, but basically, we're going to get ready for Christmas. Everyone's going to be giving each other presents and stuff. But what is going to happen is that we are going to have Thomas is going to tell his parents that they are no longer together, that they are, you know, it's over between them, and he is just going to move on and try and make them proud and all that. So Elder Thomas is like, you know, good, like, you're my son and I knew you would do the right thing, all that stuff. So that's what's going on there. And we are going to have them all have a Christmas dinner together, and Adelaide is also going to talk to Odelgard and basically be like, you know, what are you going to do? And she said, you know, we're going to work something out where I can get a job through this. Like, I'm going to continue to run the business, and I hope that you'll continue to be my mentor in this, and I hope that we can all continue to have a good relationship. And so Adelaide is so happy that Odelgard is staying, because she really feels like she can leave the business to her, and, you know, at least in some way. And so they're all, you know, pretty happy with this arrangement. Of course, they're going to be keeping an eye on these kids, right? Like, obviously, it's not so simple as just saying they're not going to be together anymore. They have to act like it, right? They have to somehow still live in the same house, but be, you know, be doing this at the same time. So that is an interesting situation. So we will see there, and then I'm just going to have Genevieve have her baby, because we need to age her up into a young adult this part. So that's where we're going to wrap up. She's going to have her son. Her son does survive, which is great. And then also, I'm terrified for next year, because next year Thomas is aging up as well, and I am so scared that Thomas is going to die when I have all these plans for him. I'm just really, really scared. But hopefully everything works out, and I hope that you're excited for that. We are also going to start working on actually finding Thomas a wife in the next one. He is probably not ready to move on just yet, but I'm sure Genevieve has some recommendations. And I hope that you're excited for all of this. I hope that, you know, let me know what you think about Odelgard and Thomas, and, you know, are they going to be able to live in the same household? Is this going to blow up in everyone's faces? I mean, me who loves drama, maybe, right? I can't even pretend like I'm not going to destroy their lives. But I hope that you're excited. And we now have a little Randolph land grab, and he has successfully been born, and we are all set. So I also forgot to do horse competitions like this whole time. But anyway, so I hope that you guys are excited, and I'll catch you in the next one.